Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Michael, sorry, one more time, if possible. I'll take care of it from here. Perfect. Cool. Amazing, amazing. Oh yeah, we'll just can you right click and mute the site?
Yeah,
and I'll
should-
just
should
double
be-
check.
should
Oh,
be
cool.
unmuted.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, we're gonna get started. Okay, perfect. All right, we're good to go. Yeah. Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, we're good. Perfect, perfect. Not yet. But can you so where are you going to show it from? Your website, right? You want to open up the tab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first tab, I want to show this tab.
Oh, okay, cool. So we'll go
So
ahead
I'm going
and
to
click.
go right to left.
Perfect. I'll click that.
I'm just going to show tabs.
Amazing.
And on my platform.
Amazing. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started in just 1 minute. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if everyone can take a seat, and we'll go ahead and get started. Very excited for today's presentation sessions today. We have so many amazing folks. So can't wait to jump on in and show you the future of AI today in this very room. Can you believe it? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Well, everyone, welcome to GPTuesdays. Thank you all so much for coming. I just want to share a few things today about what is GPTuesdays. So GPTuesdays is the largest and longest running AI community here in Miami, now running ever since June. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Thank you. We've been now running for around 2 years now, starting at the hub, and now here at the AI Center, we will go ahead and bring together the leading AI engineers, business professionals, investors, and more together so we can all stay ahead of the AI wave. By bringing everyone together, we're able to learn from each other very quickly, and so that we can all essentially share information, gain mentors, learn access to capital, and find great founders so that we can build great products together. And I want to give a quick shout out to Miami-Dade College. Let's give it up to Miami-Dade College. Miami-Dade College, they're doing so much great work here. They're providing us this amazing venue. The AI Center has been built now for over a year, and you might not believe it, but they actually offer free AI education. So free courses, free AI education. So if you're looking to learn more, go ahead and sign up here. Feel free to reach out, and I'll help you sign up today. And today we have a few amazing speakers. In fact, we have, for the very first one, the former director of the AI Center, Michael Mannino. Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Michael and I, we met, what was it, maybe 4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, when I was director here.
Yes, absolutely. And since then, you've built a new startup called Syneurgy, of which he is co-CEO, and he's going to share us a bit about what's behind the scenes, and PhD in neuroscience and many more. So really excited to learn from you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead and bring you up. Yeah, and if you could possibly share your screen real quick.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. Let me put this in there. All right. Let me do this at the same time. Yep, good. Good. Yep, good. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Grant, thanks very much for having me. I was director of this center, and we have 2 centers, AI centers at Miami-Dade College. One at North Campus and one here, and we're building a third. I left that role a few months ago, right after I met Grant. I still teach here at Miami-Dade College, so we teach, we have AI ethics as part of our curriculum, and I teach AI ethics as well. And like Grant said, I'm a neuroscientist by training. I actually did my PhD up at FAU at the Center for Complex Systems and Brain Sciences. And about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I started this company, Syneurgy. So I'll tell you a little bit about the concept and demo the platform for you. And then if you have any questions, we can do that too. This is our website, Teams in Sync Perform Better. That's the concept. So we've built an AI-driven SaaS platform that uses artificial intelligence to quantify and measure team performance. And we want to improve virtual team dynamics, group cohesion, how teams communicate and how teams collaborate. Virtual teams at the moment, but we can also do hybrid teams as well. And so a lot of this started from my research actually up at FAU. My advisor, Scott Kelso, who founded the Center for Complex Systems and Brain Sciences up there at FAU in Boca, he was the first neuroscientist to discover a neuromarker when people are cooperating and collaborating versus when they're competing. So there's a joint signal in the brain for when people are actually collaborating and cooperating. And so he was the first person to put EEG caps on multiple people's brains at one time, scan their brains simultaneously, and show that actually there's a specific signal when people are, again, they're cooperating on a specific problem-solving task. And that was back in 2007. And I'm kind of going quick here, so I don't have much time. Make a long story short, back 10 years later, we now know that teams on the same wavelength, literally, their brain signals perform better. And so that's actually been measured. Now, you have all of these articles are written, the social benefits of getting our brains in sync. So when we get in sync biologically, we have that phrase in language, right? We're on the same wavelength. We're in sync. We're clicking. We have chemistry. It turns out that our brain waves, our heart rates, our galvanic skin response, even our blink rate, and all of these things synchronize when we're in a social situation. And that's a predictor of better performance, better collaboration, generosity, trust, empathy, and cooperation. And so, and it's also a predictor of something called team flow. So currently I'm also the chief science officer of an organization called the Flow Research Collective, where we research this thing called the flow state in psychology. And so maybe many coders kind of are familiar with that, where you lose yourself, you lose your sense of time, you're performing really well. It's this optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and we perform our best. And there's also something called team flow. So teams can be in the flow state, in the zone, it's also called as well. And so that's actually been measured, and it's shown that brains and bodies and behaviors get in sync when teams are in flow. And so obviously you lose a lot of that in virtual, remote, distributed environments. So that's the problem we're trying to solve. That makes sense so far? To everybody? Okay. There's a lot of research now with neuroscience, at the intersection of neuroscience and AI, and measuring all of these physiological things that happen with us, heart rates, brain waves, really cool stuff. So I just wanted to give you a couple of examples just to sort of fill everybody in and give context. This was called Brain GPT, which is using the intersection of large language models and neural activity in the brain to decode thoughts. So now you can, and this was actually done with a portable EEG, so non-invasive. You don't need to stick anything in anybody's skull like Elon Musk or anything like that. So you could just, strap on a consumer-grade EEG device, read your brain activity, and AI can now decode what you're thinking. So if you say, in this example, I'd like an espresso, we can get that representation from AI. So many cool things are happening now. I just wanted to show you a couple of other, sort of examples. Machine learning can reveal brain networks involved in child aggression. I have some more examples here. AI can allow paralyzed people to just handwrite using their mind. AI-driven algorithms can detect our fingerprints of our brain. So there's a really rich research paradigm for using artificial intelligence and neural signals and physiological signals. So really cool stuff. So let me tell you a little bit about how it works, and then I'll demo our platform and tell you a little bit about the company. So we observe teams. Teams upload their videos, upload their calls, and we're automating that process now. And then that gets analyzed by our platform, and we're only using the webcam and the microphone right now to collect data. We can ingest wearable data, so like people wear Whoops and Aura rings and things like that. We can take that into account. We measure all of these things, how teams are getting in sync, right? How much synchrony they have. We're giving them a team synchrony score, and then we're giving them behaviors. We're using artificial intelligence to give them habits and behavioral recommendations and activities they can do to move the needle on all these things. I just wanted to show one more thing. I recently gave a TED Talk across the way here at Miami-Dade College on the science of team synchrony. So I would highly recommend you guys check that out. Just a plug there. So here's the platform. Let me take you through the platform here. So this is just a sort of a demo. Hopefully it works. We're launching in a couple of weeks, actually, and we've been bootstrapped the whole time now, and we're right now pre-revenue, and we are doing a couple of pilot projects and paid pilot projects. So we're launching in a couple of weeks by March 31st, and we've been at this for, like I said, a good couple of years ago. I have a partner and 2 other co-founders as well. And so here's what the platform looks like. This is the summary page that the team, you can see in this is a GitLab team, which is a fully remote company, as many of you know. You can see there's a lot here, so I'm just going to take you through this sort of quickly. This is a summary page of all of the team's previous calls and meetings. And again, we're not really a meeting platform like Fireflies or Read or Otter. We're not a transcription service. We're really in trying to improve human connection and human collaboration. So we're a collaboration platform. And so if you click here into one of the team meetings, you can see this is the dashboard that we have right now. And so this is the team. They've uploaded their meeting, and we're giving them all of these different metrics and KPIs. So their team synchrony is a 53, and this is broken down into their brains, bodies, and behaviors. So cognitive alignment, like how aligned they are mentally, how aligned they are emotionally, their emotional synchrony, which is again a predictor of things like excuse me, psychological safety in the team, their level of trust, how distributed is their participation, their level of enjoyment, excuse me, their shared goals, and their task engagement. And so we're giving them those metrics. We're giving them the team sentiment. So this is like a global collective state of mind of the team, where the team sits. Is it more positive? Is it more negative? Is someone sort of derailing the conversation or adding to it? Those kinds of things. Those complex measures of team dynamics that brings teams together to achieve this thing called team flow. So we do offer the transcript of the team, an AI summary, different highlights from the meeting and the team as well. And then we have these different visualizations that we're giving as well. So here we're calling this the Syneurgy universe. And each team member is an emoji. And if you sort of fast forward throughout the meeting, we can see these how they're moving. And as they move toward the center of the universe, they're more in sync. And as they move farther away, they're less in sync. And we can see how that synchrony, that team synchrony signature, changes over time and gives us something about their dynamics. We're calling this our heat map right now. And so this is their level of excitement. Is the team more calm or or excited? Are they more emotionally positive or emotionally negative? Is the team energized and inspired, or are they sort of stressed and overwhelmed? And again, how that changes over time. So right now, teams upload videos to the platform. We can handle any kind of like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and so on. And right now, teams can generate a report, and this report, they get downloaded, and this report gives you all of these metrics and simplifies them, and then gives you behavioral recommendations. So what the team can do as a team and as individuals. So if you're, interrupting too much, or not talking enough, or sharing ideas, if it's a brainstorming call, or if it's a decision-making time for the team, we can ascertain that. And so right now, again, we're collecting all of this data from the webcam and the microphone right now, and then building an algorithm to be able to predict optimal collaboration for your team. So that's basically the idea of team synchrony being the secret sauce of team performance. And that's it. I will stop there. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. You go.
What's the benefit for the team or the company that uses this related to productivity or some kind of profiling of an employee? Something?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So the question was, what's the sort of benefit, the value proposition that we're offering companies? Right now, our target persona is really a team persona, and these are virtual teams, virtual team dynamic, virtual teams or sort of hybrid teams. And the benefit is better performance. So better communication, better collaboration, better decision making, better problem solving for the team, and just better team performance overall. That's our value prop, our what we're offering to the team in companies. These could be like small to medium businesses or enterprise as well. But the idea is right now it's to virtual teams. The other thing is that answer. So about individual profiling. So right now it's opt-in. The team leader will, I don't see your data and you don't see my data if we're on a team, but our team leader sees our data. We opt in, and the idea is that if everybody opts in, we can get optimal data for how to improve your team's performance and your team's collaboration. I teach AI ethics here because I'm just going to answer this question because I know somebody has it. The ethical considerations, confidentiality, PII, all of these things we have taken into account since day one. We don't want the platform to be used for terminating folks, or let me share my screen again because it fell asleep, or those kinds of things that the companies might want to use it for. Our goal is to get people communicating better and collaborating better and more, again, in sync for better cooperation. Does that answer your question, Ken? Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Great product, Michael, and thank you for walking us through that. Just one question in terms of how this is generating these insights. Is it using the transcript of the conversations alone? Is it some kind of multimodal analysis of the posture of people? Is it a combination of all of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good question. So it is a combination of a lot of things. We're only collecting data from the webcam and the microphone. So we are using a bunch of different metrics, data, like psychophysiological data collection. So language, yes, for sure. We're using the transcript as well. We're using facial expressions. We're actually using heart rate, believe it or not, and some other other metrics. And then we're taking into that data, and then we're training a model, our own model. We are using a bit of an LLM as well to combine our own KPIs and the applied neuroscience of it with our own model to be able to predict your collaboration. So like, and if your team, your team dynamics is different than his team dynamics or her team dynamics, we can actually, the more data we collect about your team, the more we can gain information about it, and then tailor, use our model to tailor recommendations for you and your specific team having a specific signature. But yeah, all of the information is audio and video right now. Yeah, and there's other things too, which I could go into, but yeah.
My question was his question, so yeah, Elkassas.
Oh, was it that question?
Yeah, you answered the question.
Okay.
I
Sure.
have something to complement the question. I'm curious if
Yes.
you take into consideration cultural differences. Some people shake yes like this, and others shake yes like this, and the way they look straight or not straight, that the person can be cultural.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question as well. So right now, I'm gonna have to put this on so I don't follow this. So right now we are not taking into account cultural differences. So if you're from Germany and you don't talk so much, or your facial expressions are not indicative of joy or enjoyment, that doesn't mean that you're not contributing to the enjoyment of the team. We, again, with with more data about your team and self-reporting as well, so we're collecting some qualitative information about your team that will help us, and what type of team you are, that will help us pinpoint and interpret the outcome, the data on the platform as well. And then, the idea is eventually we'll take into account contextual differences as well. So like, for example, too much synchrony can also be a bad thing. There is not enough cognitive friction or diversity of thought. And so we're actually capturing that as well. You can see on the platform so if there's high synchrony or low synchrony, if there's too much synchrony too much of the time, that might mean that you need a little bit more, back and forth and friction. But right now what we're focusing on are universal scientific objective measures of better team performance. And right now that happens to be like more enjoyment and trust and psychological safety. The way that people express those psychological safety might differ, but again, if we have more qualitative information about your team, we can take that into account. Great question. Yeah.
Okay. Michael.
Yes.
Yes, so my name is Michael as well. So
Nice to meet you.
My question is, at the beginning of your presentation, you told us about the flow state or deep work state. So my question is, using this tool, if we analyze not only the meetings, but 24 hours webcam in a room where we try to work, can we keep this deep work or flow state and force employee to be as much productive as possible?
Okay.
Can you repeat the question for?
Yes. So I think the question was, correct me if I'm wrong, you're asking about flow state and its relationship to being more productivity, which it is for sure, as is team flow. And you're asking about the sustainability, I think, of the flow state and being able to use the technology or the platform to keep people more productive.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the goal of the platform is not to, it definitely is for better team performance, which correlates with more productivity, more, better decision making, which we can actually take into account your own company's KPIs. So if you're a sales team and you're more in sync and that turns out to correlate with more sales, we want to see that. We want to try and find a relationship between those two. So over time, if people use the platform more and more, then I would say it will encourage teams to be more productive over time. Getting in sync and collaborating as a team is a complex thing. So we're not like, if you're wearing an Apple Watch and the Apple Watch is getting your heart rate variability and your heart rate and you see that over time, that's just one thing. A team cohesion and team dynamics is much more complicated and complex. So we are, that takes time to learn. So if we give you behaviors for you and your team to do together in sync, but also individually as a team to improve team performance and the way you collaborate, that takes time to learn. It's not going to happen overnight. So in that sense, the more the data we get and the better the platform gets at making recommendations and then tracking, yep, you're not interrupting anymore and you're having better meetings because of it. So that's how I would, yeah. Good.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
James Lusser with Corp, and I've got a question, super interesting concept. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I can easily see the value proposition for, I guess, my own definition of what a traditional team would be. But can you talk a little bit about any size limitations around the product? Because I'm thinking about it from a perspective of, I work with a lot of different DAOs, and it would be interesting to see how this would be applied to perhaps a larger size team that works for a DAO.
Yeah.
Because depending on the DAO, you can have human personalities across the entire spectrum, and it would be interesting to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Another one. The science is pretty clear on team performance and team flow is that like the optimal teams are between 5 and 10 people, right? Now, with the platform, because right now we're trying to capture virtual team performance and virtual team dynamics, we can capture like up to because it has to be in, as you saw here, sort of gallery view. So we lose, the models lose a little bit of resolution as we get to like 15 people. I want to mention something else too. So I would say like optimally 12, between 10 and 15 different kinds of people in that sense would be optimal for better collaboration. You get bigger teams. I think that's what your question is. If you get larger teams, it's harder, the dynamics, because right now we're capturing data like on these two people in the team, have better, synergy than these other two people, and that's changing team dynamics. So we want to measure that. That gets much more complicated as you get larger teams, and the resolution gets smaller and smaller, so it's harder to capture better facial expressions and physiological markers of better team performance. Having said, so that's, yeah, and I was going to say, so like the other thing is, this could also be, like we're going for enterprise right now, and virtual teams, but we've thought about this being used for esports teams, coaching, or like psychotherapy. Like in fact, the science is really interesting that psychotherapists who synchronize their heart rates and their movements with their clients have better therapeutic outcomes. So virtual coaching now is huge, and so like the BetterUps of the world, we could have like an API that could just, an added feature. So that's what I like. But does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
And this will be the last question.
Okay.
Hi,
Yes,
Michael.
ma'am.
My name is Teresa.
Nice to meet you.
My question is in conjunction with the other two people about, they asked you more about the front end. I'm interested on the back end.
Yeah.
You mentioned using an LLM. What LLM did you use, and how did you do your analysis in terms of the actual platform? I mean, how you were going to actually design the platform?
We're using OpenAI right now.
Oh, you're using okay.
Yeah, as a small.
Did you look at it in comparison to like Gemini, DeepSeek? Did you look at it?
No, well, we were doing this long before DeepSeek came out, and we haven't tried Anthropic or Google yet. But we're using OpenAI as a, like, we're using that large language model as a, like, we're using like Whisper, but we have NLP models and other CV models that we're using to build our own model. Those are mostly for data capture. And then we're using an LLM just for a small part of it to help make recommendations. We developed an entire behavior engine based on the science of behavior design to give people habits. And it turns out we were doing that before November of 2022. And so once that came out, we switched over to that to make that a little bit, that portion of it a little bit easier. So that's that. In reference to the back end, you're asking how we, like the architecture of it? Like the...
That did answer in part.
Okay.
We could go into the architecture if you like, we have time. I do want to add value. I always like to add value when
Please.
I'm talking. So as you were talking, I think you can target project management teams at first, and then first software engineers working in the team, tech teams with your platform, because a lot of times you need that synergy definitely on a team that you're either providing project management to or tech teams.
Yeah, 100%, like that adds great value. 100%. Like tech teams and like this GitLab as a demo, they're fully remote companies. So we're targeting fully remote companies right now, but you have like a marketing team, sales team, software development teams. You know, those teams, you're bringing up a really interesting point. Like those teams, the team personas from a psychological perspective can be different than a sales team or a marketing team. And so we want to take that into account. And to the back-end architecture, we're using AWS, and we've built a serverless, architecture. What was I going to say? A serverless architecture. We're doing ML ops on the cloud, so there's a cloud infrastructure there. We're using AWS. So it turns out to be the best for building this kind of platform right now. So
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Right now, I'm founding my own company, and I'll be sharing at Immersive America soon. So I definitely wanted to just touch base with you about that.
Yeah, 100%. And then Grant will, thank you, and Grant will give my contact information if anybody would like to ask any more questions or reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who here learned something new about synchrony and neuroscience? We got all those hands up, amazing. And that's what it's all about, learning something new here at GPTuesdays. And next we have pre.dev. This is a very exciting system that has been built. I've talked with them quite a few times. Irina, we've been friends now for several months. And so, really looking forward to bringing them to the stage so that we can learn something new about AI and how it's being used in startups today.
Hi, everyone. First of all, Grant, thank you so much for having us. And today we will present pre.dev. This is a disruptive product, and we are supporting communities and founders and entrepreneurs. And today you have a great chance to hear from firsthand of our founder of pre.dev about the disruptive platform. But I would like to ask as much possible of your attention, because today we are very happy to announce, and we would like not to only share the theory or prototyping, but to have your own experience in life. And we are happy to announce a competition for the best prototype built on pre.dev. So we will talk about how to apply and so on. You will see the magic of pre.dev. But before, I would like to welcome to the stage and to introduce our amazing partners who will announce the prizes.
Hi, everybody. I'm James Slusser with Polkadot. I see a lot of familiar faces in this room tonight. If anybody that does not know me, please say hello on the GPTuesdays Telegram or Discord channel. But we, Polkadot, are happy to be partners not only with GPTuesdays, but pre.dev as well. And we were happy to donate some prizes for the competition. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Sal to tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sal. I am the owner of Bellillo Pizzeria, and as a prize for the winner, we will offer Polkadot pizza. It's basically a margherita con bufala dots. It's basically a classic margherita, but rather than have spreading the buffalo mozzarella in the casual way, we will usually follow the shape of the dot token. So the winner will have an experience in our restaurant. It's gonna be for 2 people, not only the pizza, but it's gonna be a full experience. And besides that, we are also the official partner of the Inter Miami. So we will also offer 2 tickets for the next match that is going to be at the Chase Stadium. So yeah, hope you're happy with that. I'll pass it over.
By the way, if you would like to meet some stars or great people from blockchain, Web3, or just to taste a piece of Napoli, Bellillo is one of the best Italian restaurants. So my best recommendation to that. And also, let's know who will say hello to Lionel Messi, thanks to our partners. And just check Polkadot, because I would say this is a zillion of developers there and a lot of experience that might be interesting for developers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me generally introduce, because logical question, but what is pre.dev? So let me do my marketing stuff. So pre.dev, and by the way, how to apply to the competition. So you will have an exclusively prepared promotion promo code. You will just scan the QR code. By the way, I will share it in the GPTuesday Telegram community. So, but do not forget to put @GPTuesday, the way that we can understand that it's you from GPTuesdays, the way that we will choose the winner. The winner will be announced in social networks, so please subscribe to GPTuesday, to pre.dev, and to Polkadot and Bellillo, the way that you would like to know the winner. It will be on Friday. So pre.dev, this is an AI architect that enables technical and non-technical founders to build a prototype just in 3 minutes. So you do not need any more discovery phase. It's economized like 98% of budget, and from like 1,000 you can do it for free. And we are trusted. We were verified by several communities, worldwide leading companies, and partners. Currently, we have more than 10,000 projects on our platform. And also, this project enables to integrate the full community. So we provide as much as possible the way that startups and small businesses can build their ideas and to get funded as much as possible and sooner. So it's like a very, very easy way for any project. You just apply to the platform and you just put a simple prompt or text description of your product. Then you dive deeper in the system and you will get a prototype. You can set up your budget. You can get a roadmap. You can also find out how much will be spent on which feature. And then you will have an opportunity to match with developers if you would like to develop this project further. You can also develop on your own, download the project, everything you need, the code and so on. So again, I will share this picture, take your pictures, then at the end we will repeat. And now the magic. So our founder, Adam, will share how it works.
Thank you, Irina. So essentially I'm the founder of pre.dev, and the talk for today was titled Pre.dev, a layer of abstraction above coding agents. So what does that mean? It sounds fancy, but we started building Pre.dev not even thinking about code. I had my own software consulting, freelancing business, and I was talking to clients looking to build, their startups, MVPs, and I noticed that more times than not, 90% of the time, they all had amazing ideas, but didn't really get anywhere. And I would have to have, 4 to 6 weeks of meetings with these clients trying to figure out, okay, what is their scope of work? If they want to build like an AI fitness tracker app or something like that, how do we decide how much we're going to charge them? And how are they going to actually get it built efficiently? So that's where I started with pre.dev as basically a planning agent that asks simple follow-up questions and does the discovery of your product. For instance, if you're building the AI fitness tracker app, you could say, I want to build an AI fitness tracker app. Then it might ask, so what happens after a user goes to your landing page and signs up for your product? And then you could be like, okay, you input your BMI, your height, your weight, and it calculates, something or the other. But anyways, it just keeps asking you these follow-up questions, and then from that, it basically extrapolates architecture and roadmap. So that's how pre.dev started, but the whole layer of abstraction above coding agents, we thought, okay, these roadmaps are super useful for software development, product management, because it saves a lot of time, it breaks down tasks, it breaks down requirements, especially for non-technical people that might be able to high-level describe their idea. But essentially, you could pass that plan off to human developers, or nowadays that coding agents are really good with the advent of, Cursor, Bolt.new, Windsurf, Codium, etc. We felt that pre.dev could actually orchestrate these agents as a prompt. So could I get a show of hands, like how many people here are coders or have tried one of these, like Cursor, for instance? Okay, so that's good, that's good. Then this is gonna be juicy. So yeah, today, I'm not even gonna talk that much, I'm just gonna go straight into the demo, because I figure, I see a lot of even interviews, podcasts with some of our competitors, which I wouldn't even call competitors because, once again, we started as a planning agent, we weren't even generating code. But we have an argument now that because we have a much clearer, in-depth prompt to these coding agents, we have an advantage in the space. But yeah, basically my competitors, I see them giving demos where they pull up projects that are already done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically ask you guys to lead the way, like come up with an idea. We're gonna go through the examples so I can't, maybe it's gonna run into errors, with Cursor and everything. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna show you like how much value you can extract from pre.dev, really, really fast. So to start, let me see. Just go to pre.dev. It's a simple website, pre.dev. You could scan the thing or you could just type pre.dev. So this is our landing page. Prototype with AI, scale with devs. So for GPT Tuesday, all you're gonna have to do to enter in the contest is come up with an idea and just put like @GPT Tuesday so I can just tell that it came from this. But does anybody have any ideas that they want to try this with? Like AI app, like I've ran every single idea through AI app for veterinarians, chatbot for fitness trackers, farm to table app, anything. Otherwise, I could come up with it, but let's go.
So you can make an app that essentially could be an agent, instead of a SaaS, like an agent as service, or no?
You could make any app. It's basically pre.dev models your software. So.
All right, so make an app that can help me find product market fit.
Okay, so 1 second. Let me. We could, but I don't want to give away all the secrets, No, just 1 second.
Product market fit.
Okay, so.
You're figuring out what to make.
So this should be a very valuable mobile application. So application to find a product market fit.
Yes.
An app that helps founders find a product market fit with AI. Okay, so it says what email should we send it to? I'm just gonna put my email for now. You guys could either log in with Google or you can put your email in. So here's basically the dashboard, and it's locked right now, but once again, you guys will have a promo code in Stripe that will give you a free month, and you can make unlimited projects. So I'm just gonna go to like the dashboard, sorry, on the paid plan. Let's see. Where did I put that? What do we call it? Well, let me just try this again real quick.
If you could talk directly into the mic.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I'm just gonna say, we're just gonna restart this. I don't know why it didn't work, but I would like to build an app to help founders find product market fit using AI. Okay, so the AI said, let me zoom in a little bit. That's an interesting concept.
Oh, if you can grab the mic out of the
Yeah, sorry. So I said, I would like to build an app to help founders find product market fit using AI. It said, that's an interesting concept. What kind of role do you envision the founders playing in the app? Are they primary users, and what specific pain points related to finding product market fit do you want the app to address for them? So as I was saying, it asks you continuous follow-up questions about your app so we can give it, more and more concept. But for now, as you can see here, is the core of our application. So this is called the user flow graph. And essentially what it is it just models the user journey from each perspective of a user role through your app. And what does that mean? So for instance, like we have a founder. There's landing and authentication, that's just some standard stuff, but we have a founder, the primary user seeking to leverage AI to find product market fit. So then it's saying AI-driven product market fit analysis. So if we click into this node, you can see that it provides a description of this point in the customer journey in the user flow, as well as already creates user stories for you. So in case you don't know what a user story is, it's basically like this is an example. As a founder, I want to input and upload my market data, example, customer feedback, market trends, competitor analysis, so that the AI can process and analyze it to provide insights on potential product market fit areas. So it's basically the user flow is broken down into user stories, which translate to requirements for our actual software. So essentially, these are prioritized, they have acceptance criteria, and they also have tags to architecture nodes. So with the collection of user stories, what we're able to do is gather really fine-grained requirements for your app. So one, we can estimate the price of it if we're going to connect you to an actual developer. And one thing when you're meeting with developers is they're going to rip you off as soon as possible. They might charge you for the 6 weeks of discovery actually. So that helps a lot, being able to say, what are the most important features I need for launch? Everyone says MVP, but they don't realize that you have to really get in the details to understand the architecture, user stories, flow of the app. So in this case, for this node point, we have 5 of these stories. They're already categorized by priority. And from that, it basically builds our front end and back end architecture, which gives you an idea of how the app is laid out. Like for instance, on the front end, these correspond to pages and routes. And then when you click on it, it's already mapped to user stories. So for instance, like when we're in the dashboard stats page, or if we're in the AI analysis page, it knows to include these user stories. So what's next, essentially? You have prototype, plan, roadmap. So the plan is just, summarizing this graph, essentially. And it has an executive summary, core functionalities, a tech stack that you might need. You can provide your own tech stack if you want to build it in Node.js, AWS, whatever database, Mongo. It'll provide a recommended one just in case you don't know. But the tech stack is something that is basically an assumption that the model makes. So whenever it's coming up with the architecture decisions, it keeps that in mind. So for this, we have Python, TensorFlow, React, Node.js, MongoDB, Clerk for authentication, GPT. And then there's more info with helpful links for the tech stack. When you scroll down, the important thing is this project timeline. And I like to think of it as it's essentially a prompt into AI coding agents, because if you're manually driving cursor, you have to tell it what to do at every step. If you're an amazing software engineer, that's great. Even if you are an amazing software engineer, it's a lot of back and forth. And with stuff like Windsurf and Cursor Composer, they claim to be agents that could just run autonomously, but you tell it like, I want to build an app for product market fit, and it builds you like a really simple baseline version of it, because it doesn't really break down the app into the really fine-grained requirements. So if you look at this plan, which it's just a simple text-based version of the plan, you see we have milestone 1, develop landing page for user onboarding. Within that, we have user stories with acceptance criteria. And then the user stories are broken down into subtasks, which are the actual tasks that the engineer or coding agent would do. So for instance, design the UI landing page with clear buttons for sign up, sign in. And it breaks this stuff, it breaks it so fine-grained that I wouldn't even want to honestly read through it that closely, because if we scroll, it ends up being pretty in-depth, even though we only gave it a very small amount of information. We could continually chat with it, ask it more questions, compare different architectures, and eventually, when we're ready, we have this budget, which essentially takes this and, using our data set, estimates hours. So this is actually the core product, and this is how we started. This was like the core demo. So what did we add in the last maybe 6 weeks is, so for instance, now you can export this as a master prompt. So when you download this as a master prompt, it gives you cursor rules, as well as turns these into README files that you can input into Cursor Composer, and Cursor Composer can then just go down this plan and really have an in-depth scope of how to proceed with its autonomous coding. But we figured that Cursor Composer, Windsurf, etc., Bolt.new, Lovable, they're not necessarily built to intake these large prompts, right? Because you feed it a fat prompt, it might get like the first couple of them right, and then it's going to either run into errors, or you're going to have to manually split it up in a certain way, and it's kind of arbitrary because you don't know, where do I cut this off? Do I feed it the first 2 stories and then test out the code, see if it actually works? But that's what I see is the biggest issue that coding agents have these days, because I use Cursor every single day, and I think it has 10x'd me as an engineer, but if we're talking about fully autonomous, I think it has holes in it. And that's where we came up with this prototype thing. So essentially, we have modeled the basic user flows at this point. We've modeled the roadmap, essentially, which you can feed to your engineering team. You can sync it with Linear or Jira, and then humans can, it basically turns these requirements into tickets, and then you have a progress, ability to track the progress of these humans. But then with this prototype feature, essentially what it does is it takes right now, we're just calling it prototype. We're not saying that it could do full stack right out of the box, but that's what we're gonna, aim at. We're trying to say that one of the things is, if we try to generate this on like Windsurf, Cursor, Bolt, and it doesn't get it right the first time, right? And then you just keep prompting it, 40 prompts later, you just wasted all your tokens. So if you're gonna go into an autonomous agent, you may as well know what you're getting yourself into. It's almost like the same exact thing as entering into a software contract, where are you gonna freestyle the contract with the dev agency and then hope that they deliver, or are you gonna map everything out perfectly at the start? Which one's gonna end up better? Obviously, you can't be perfect at the start, but you could do, a best effort, and then with pre.dev, you can rescope at any point, which, if you had to reorganize 100 Jira tickets halfway down the line, your product manager is gonna hate you. So yeah, getting into this prototype thing, essentially every node has these user stories mapped to it, and now we're gonna say, okay, we have a better shot at code generation because we just have a richer context and we split up that huge master prompt in a smarter way, essentially, into these modules. So, for instance, landing page, which it already genned while we were waiting, but I'll gen another page. But essentially, this is a completely live prototype. And it has, custom information, AI-powered product market fit finder, adds images, these are just placeholder partners, some features, statistics, pricing, blog, and then FAQ, as well as a footer. So this was just the first generation too. So it did a pretty decent job, right? And you're thinking like, okay, is this Figma? Is it actual real code? Is it like Canva? No, it's real code. So how is this built? Essentially, we have right now we're using kind of like an opinionated stack to generate this. Eventually we want it to, abstractly work with any stack, but we figure we want it to be as useful as possible to founders. Why? Because the biggest barrier founders are going to get is like, okay, I need to get to that first prototype so I can, one, get some customer information, validate my product market fit, exactly like we're saying, and then raise investment, like raise that seed round. And without a prototype, unless you have an amazing network, it's just not going to happen. So the faster you get to that prototype, the better. And we're not saying that this is an end-all, be-all prototype, because you can click this hire developers button, and what that'll do is within 24 or 48 hours, you'll get reached out to by developer agencies that have been vetted by us and match the tech stack that you want to essentially work with. And then the project scope's already done, so they can't charge you for discovery, and they can't like F you over because you have this clear set of requirements. You're coming in as educated as possible. But like back to this code, the stack that we're using, it's called Remix. In fact, OpenAI, ChatGPT is built on the same stack. It's a really performant JavaScript and front-end server-side rendered stack, and it's actually routed out of the box too. So just by the file structure, routing works as well. So basically, it lays out these components in React. It tests the components, makes sure it works. It deploys it on Kubernetes, so you actually have our PMF finder. I could send it to you guys now, and you can go on your phone and view it. And then you can download either the wireframe if you want to like, present it or something like that, or you could straight up download the code, and it includes all the cursor master prompt, cursor rule stuff there too. And we also have this chat that allows you to, well, one, you get to see the history of edits that were made, and two, you can refine your prototype. So let's say like, let's go generate another plan. Like, sorry, like for instance, like if we click get started, it says not found right now because we haven't generated authentication. So if say we generate auth, it'll take a second to just read the project context. It gen the code, now it's deploying. So we have our auth now. And AI product market fit finder, you could go, or oops. Sometimes you just have to refresh, but you can see it routes from sign in to sign up. Now let's go back to our landing page and see if it actually works. So if we go to, okay, yeah, there we go. So you could see that we generated two different pages and they actually routed together. And this was just a first try. Like this is just the baseline. Essentially, we have some other cool features which are like self-improve and then the chat. So if we go further, let's say like AI analysis page. This one's gonna be like a more custom one. And if we go back to this, you could see that it was like input market data for AI analysis, view AI generated market analysis report, etc. So let's see if it incorporates that stuff into that page. So what it's going to do first is it's going to plan out the file structure, but what's different here is that it tags actual user stories. So while it's planning out the file structure, it references our original requirements that I spoke about. So it's almost like accounting, just to be like, okay, we've included this feature in the code that we're generating. So you can see it came up with the file structure. This thing's supposed to go down the bottom. I don't know what's up with that, but we've made like a bunch of innovations on the coding agent side itself. Is a complex thing because you have a lot of different variables at play. You have to generate the actual code. You have to edit code efficiently because if you regenerate the file from scratch every time, like all of our competitors do, you blow tokens, plus it hallucinates way more. But if you could see here, while it's actually genning, you could see that we could click into this stuff and see the actual lines of code that's editing and replacing. So you can kind of follow along with it as it's generating. So after it's done generating, it'll test it, type check it, lint it, run actual tests on it, and then if it fails, it'll go into an error loop, which that's the tricky part because if it does enter an error loop, like I basically give it three chances, and then if it fails, you can like rerun it, but that's just one of the things that comes with generating code. But you can see it ran into a little error loop, but let's see if it fixes it. Okay, so you see we ran into an error, no undefined global, this is not, so then we could just run it again. Let's see, what did it add? You can also manually edit the code if you want. Yeah, no problem.
I'm always full of questions. I didn't think I was going to be on camera this much tonight. Most people will be sharing ideas, of course, to be able to use the platform. I'm concerned about intellectual property because anytime you're sharing ideas with people or a particular platform, so how do you protect the intellectual property of an idea when it's shared to your platform? Yeah, so basically, your ideas are private unless you
decide to match with a dev. Also, if you're on our paid plans, like all your data is private, and then our enterprise plans have essentially organization level security, so we don't train on any of your data, and even on our solo users, we don't train on their data. But for the GPT Tuesday thing, like if you just have the @GPT Tuesday thing, I will try to pull it up. But those are also the free tier users, so it's similar to ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT trains on their free users' data. So this guy is running into some weird error right now. I'm not exactly sure, but let's just pick another page and gen it.
The other question I have for you is how customizable is the landing page?
So let's do that right now. Like let's say, let's do this. I'm gonna say like, let's add a prompt to the hero section. Let's add a input prompt for an AI chat to the hero section. So basically, it's like you could customize it as much as you want, and you could just keep chatting with it. You can, you could chat with it at a high level to change the overall architecture, or you could go at the UI view level, and then also you can export the code base, and it puts all those views together essentially. And if you're a developer too, this could be helpful because essentially. It gives you like a boilerplate to start with. So, okay, so it added this little prompt thing in. So, yeah, this is just an example of how you could customize it real quick. This one actually worked, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But I guess with that being said, I will just take questions. So, once again, I'll put this up here. You can go to pre.dev, scan it, just put @GPT Tuesday, put your idea, and we'll pick the best one, announce it, and you'll get some really cool prizes.
Hi, thanks for sharing. This is awesome. I just wanted to know, from a design perspective, if you want to customize design or like pull it into Figma and make some like custom changes, is that possible? Or if you wanted to brand it, things like that, how would you do that?
Yeah, so, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, she was asking, in terms of branding and UI design, how does that fit into the mix? So, there's two ways. One, if we're generating like a new page, there's this optional upload a wireframe. So if you upload a screenshot of a page, it'll actually use that as reference to do that first version. And it'll do a best effort attempt to like theme it and stuff like that. But because this is built on, it's built on Tailwind, if you guys have heard of that, it's an engine for styling, as well as ShadCN. So when you export the code base, I could actually show you, but when you export the code base, here, I'll open this in like Cursor or something. Anyways, I could just show you here. My computer froze. Okay. Yeah, so if we go into app, you can see that there are these ShadCN components already added. So you could actually either edit the Shad components yourself and customize the styling. You could edit the Tailwind config to have a consistent brand palette, or you could start with screenshots. Yeah, does that answer your question?
So my question is, I use platforms like Bull, Replit, stuff like that, and you touched on something around like prompt optimization. I may have missed it, but do you mind showing exactly how? Because like you definitely get a point. The prompts there lose like context. Especially if a bug comes up and you have to fix the bug, you have to reprompt the whole thing. Do you mind showing that feature one more time? Or how you guys optimize the prompt through that like onboarding you mentioned?
So you mean this? Or?
Yeah, so, okay, so is that what you meant in the output, or does it actually like optimize like a text prompt? Because like I'll do stuff through like ChatGPT per se, but like if you upload like a bullet pointed thing into Replit, it kind of trips itself up on like that format.
Oh, here, if I were to put, see, if you can see in this PMF finder, there's cursor rules, right? And then there's pre.dev plan. So wait, no, that's not that. That's not it. It's here, maybe it's a README. Or here, let me just do this. Export the master. Okay, I'm gonna subscribe. But essentially, what it does is it puts this in a Markdown file, and you can. That in combination with the cursor rules, like cursor has its own way of breaking things up now, like it greps parts of files and stuff like that. But we just give you that whole prompt essentially. Yeah.
But for us, it's like we basically, you can generalize it in parallel. And you guys don't deploy though, right? Like that's like the visuals we saw was like equivalent to creating like a super dynamic Figma profile. Like, there's not, I can't put like a database in the back end of this. Like,
No, you can't actually deployed. Like this, I could share this link right here. It's like PMF Finder. Like even if I opened it in a new tab, you can see that it's /landing. And even if we go sign up here, /auth. And so this is, and Remix is like a server-side rendered framework already. So it's basically an NPM based, there's a package.json, it's built on Vite, and you can, like the next step, we're adding Postgres, TRPC, Prisma, to basically link the back-end schema and stuff to it too.
cool, very cool, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
First of all, wow, I think as someone who spent many months doing exactly all of that, you know, mapping out all my user journeys and writing down the user stories, this could have saved a lot of time. So congratulations on a really successful product. Thank you. I think my question to you is more philosophical in the sense that why not extend this and convert it, connect it to an IDE of your own, like Cursor. It seems like your context retention is working better than what I've seen in Cursor with Cursor rules. There seems to be a better representation of the entire product in the backend, which I can work off of. So, you know, why not just have your own IDE?
So we've thought about making this like a VS Code plugin. Future maybe, kind of like Klein is something that is new on the market that is like basically a VS Code plugin that does some agentic stuff. The only thing is our core customer is actually non-technical. We want to, like even Lovable, right? To set up a database with Lovable, you have to sign in with Supabase and then do all this connection stuff. Like if you're non-technical, you already lost them, right? So with ours, it's like you have a shareable link, you have the code if you want to download it to give to your developers or whatever, or you could, you know, match with developers and give them a boilerplate code base so you save a bunch of time. And if they're like, oh no, we want to rewrite this, you'd be like, no, like we want to build it in this. We want, you know, we already have a landing page, we already have this. We just want you to improve it and scale it. Or like, for instance, like it's deployed right now in like a Kubernetes like dev instance that has like limited memory and stuff, but if you wanted to actually scale it, you know, we're not doing that for you. You still need developers for that. So, yeah.
I have a couple. So Michael here, and my first question is, does this generate the Terraform files for the deployment?
It doesn't. But that's something we could do. Like I got away, to be honest with you. But right now, like we automatically deploy it with like Kubernetes API on Google Cloud.
And then in the future, do you see you giving these tasks instead to software engineers to agents and swarms?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's doing right now. It's splitting up the task by module and then telling the agent, like, this is what you have to do, this. But yeah, it gets split down into like tiny level, but yeah, that's pretty much the idea.
Thank you.
Hi there. Another list of questions from another Michael. So, which LLM you recommend to use to generate everything like this, and how it works? Do I need to share my OpenAI key and choose it, or you use LLM on your side?
Yeah, we use an AI pipeline that we've designed. So the way that I recommend using LLMs is not, you don't, for instance, like, do you need to use O1 reasoning model for like a simple, like, is this a simple task? No. So you have to pick and choose, right? Like, we actually use a combination of models. We use Gemini because it's really fast and cheap for certain like tasks that are a little bit easier. For code gen, we use Claude 3.7. It's like the best one that's out right now for sure, and that's helped us a lot. And then we still use OpenAI for certain things here and there as well. Like O3 Mini is actually really good because it's a lightweight reasoning model. It's for more impactful decisions you have to make, where you want it to think, at least for instance, like O3 Mini, like just something simple like deciding which file to edit. It's like you could use like GPT-4o Mini, but if it decides the wrong file to add to edit, then you screwed up your whole gen. So in that case, maybe a reasoning model is better because you want it to think for like 5 seconds before it decides what model to use. So I would say if you really want a fully agentic coding system, you need to utilize all the models. And then also Claude and all that stuff, it's like they have rate limits. They have hard rate limits. It's hard to get high rate limits on that. So we have to be clever in the way that we use the models.
Okay, another question. For a number of tokens, and how can I check how many tokens I spent to generate this exact project?
So no, you have these things. We actually don't charge by token. So our free tier, you get 2 free generations per day, and a generation could be like that first gen where we gen the landing page, or it could be an edit, or it could be self-improve, which I've actually forgot to even show you guys, but maybe for another time. But self-improve takes a screenshot of the UI and analyzes it, scores it, and then fixes the holes and like runs on a loop essentially.
Okay, and the last question about the money. I saw the budgeting feature. Can you open it and
So, for instance, the budgeting feature, it allows you, gives you an estimated price, and then you can actually set your budget. Like, for instance, if my budget's 5,000, I could click this, and it will automatically like scope down the user stories that are like low priority, for instance. So it just helps you. This is like more helpful whenever you are working with like a development agency or something, and you're like, okay, I have a budget of 15K and I can't go over that, but I want all these features. How do I fit all those features in my 15K budget?
The main problem is I'm owner of software development company, and can I put rates of my developers, of my project managers in the system?
Yeah, we actually have a complete suite of tools for development agencies, and you can customize your pricing. You could customize the model itself with your own knowledge base, and you could even customize the format of the statement of work, for instance, based on. You could customize the hours. You could upload an Excel sheet with a bunch of hours. Like, hey, how's it going?
Good. Congratulations, you guys.
Oh yeah.
Looks like you guys made a lot of progress since the last event, so it's great to see that. 2 quick questions. First, are you familiar with Builder AI?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between what you guys do?
So I would say that Builder AI and other no-code tools like Bubble, Flutterflow, etc., are you know, they're useful to build prototypes, but it reminds me of like, if you ask me to go into Figma and like mess with all their stuff and like, try to create it from scratch, I'm gonna give up at a certain point. I would say that our core, you know, competency is the planning. I would say we're the best planning agents, so before you even write or prototype, knowing what you're gonna wanna build. And the prototype is a side effect of that, essentially. And Builder.io, if you're non-technical, just like with, I've heard people, like founders are like, oh, I'm gonna build my MVP with Bubble. Then they give up after like a weekend because it's like, it's annoying, it's hard, you know? You gotta decide what every button looks like, you have to decide how the pages route together, and it's a lot of dependencies, and if you're non-technical and you have other stuff to do like marketing, sales, etc., it's difficult.
I think you're confusing Builder.io and Builder.ai. Because Builder.ai kind of do something similar. We have like a lot of developers in India.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe you've looked at them before and you have different.
Oh, okay. So Builder.ai, not Builder.io. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought they were the same thing. But I mean, there are other, if you're talking about the dev shop market and connecting to developers, there's Upwork, there's Clutch, there's,
Right.
so.
They also use AI to help you with the project.
Yeah, I would just say we're the best at scoping, and no one gives as in-depth scopes and better estimates than we do, and as fast. So, yeah.
And in your roadmap, are you planning on just, because I heard you talk about agents, are you just gonna virtualize everything and make everything AI-based, or are you still gonna keep developers on staff?
Well, we like, just as our hero section says, like we believe that you could prototype with AI, but if you really want to scale long term, like product development is a never-ending process, and business requirements change constantly, and you have to have, you know, a team to manage that infrastructure, and it'll be really difficult for that to be completely automated. So we see that we're going to push and strive for complete autonomous, like push our roadmap as far as humanly possible. But we know that realistically, there's a certain point where you need developers to take over.
Okay, and one last quick question, what do you use to train your models? What data?
Like what data, or like what platforms?
Well, for example, let's say that, you know, I put my idea and it gives me the whole, like, you know, prototype and everything else. What do you use to train that model? How does it know what prototype will fit in my idea better?
So that's more on, we actually like, the prototype side of it, we're not even training a custom model for, but we do have a custom model on the planning side where we have a bunch of tasks, software tasks. Yeah, sorry about that. We have a bunch of software tasks, and then we get experts to review these tasks and be like, is this actually, like we have expert developer agencies compare statement of works that they have essentially and be like, is this a good allocation of hours for this task, for instance?
Gotcha. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And one last question.
Yeah, no problem.
Congratulations, they're equal to, do you plan to integrate our GitHub or like cloud accounts? So you have your first idea and then you just want to deploy that? I don't know if I missed that.
Yeah, we have Jira and linear integrations. So basically, we'll convert this whole roadmap to tickets in Jira and linear. And GitHub is going to follow too. I mean, just the same as code base.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to add, thank you so much. Again, we want to know this Friday who will join football game and also meet you in the villa, thanks to our amazing partners. And also one more thing, we are not competing, we also provide a widget under API. You can sold under your logo. So it's like white label opportunity for you. If you would like to use this technology, you can do it. So welcome for any questions. We are looking for your projects, and you can still reach out to us, and Grant will provide our contacts, and again, follow us in social networks and GP Tuesday community. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing. Wow, look at that. Pre.dev, huh? Raise your hand if you learned something new about how AI is revolutionizing user stories and project development. Oh my gosh, all the hands up. Thank you so much, Adam and Irina. That is just absolutely amazing, and really, really excited to just see, how we continue moving forward in this new age of AI. So now I'm going to bring up to the stage someone that some folks in the room might recognize. One of the largest AI communities, here in Miami, and also growth lead at Space Atlas. It's going to be a very exciting project, and we've known each other now for several months now. A really good friend of mine, Burhan. So thank you so much for presenting. I can't wait to hear about what you're going to teach about today, and I'm really excited about this project. I looked into the company and I thought, wow, this is a really amazing company all around the world. So Burhan, please share more about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is this works? Let me see first. Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Grant. This community is doing amazing stuff for more than a year right now. And I got a Community Ally Award from GPTuesdays. That's the only award that I have. So, love it. Love the community. But secondly, thank you so much for staying this late. I don't know what time is it, but it's like 8:30. So, thank you so much. I wouldn't stay for me this much, but you did a great job. So today I'm going to talk about how AI is shaping digital twins. I wanted to talk about how it's going to shape immersive technologies, but it's going to be super long, so I'm going to keep it to digital twin. So I'm going to come next year to talk about immersive technologies later, okay? So stay in touch. Who is this guy? I am El Turco in Miami. Burhan, I'm a VP of Growth at Abstraction, which is a digital twin company, also founder of Miami AI Hub. We also have events, like monthly events. How many people here joined AI Hub event before? Okay, so next week we have event. How many of you will join that? Perfect. Okay, so I'm also board member for AI 2030, which is like NGO for responsible AI. So while we're building, so let's think how we can make it more responsible. Those logos are the previous companies that I worked, but I'm gonna skip those. So on LinkedIn, just go LinkedIn, check it, okay? So, digital twins. Like, how many of you didn't hear digital twins before?
Yes. Have you heard of the Mannino?
Yes, of course. So it's basically the similar stuff, but so everybody heard it, right? So it's very popular nowadays. You see a lot of events around in Miami as well, in South Florida as well, talking about digital twins. So it's not a coincidence because now with the help of AI, it makes more sense because before this, AI hype, let's say, like generative AI, there were a lot of metaverse companies, right? You remember? So we were one of them as well. So we were building digital worlds. In our metaverse, it's called Atlas Space, but now with the help of AI, you think you can be a god. I mean, we are recording this, sorry, mom. But, so basically, you can create digital worlds, and with generative AI, you can talk, engage with any object within that digital twin. So that idea is crazy. So there are some use cases for smart cities, industrial operations, urban planning, immersive experience. I will dive into those later. But let's look at the technical foundations because we are in an AI event, right? So let's see like what we are using to build this digital twin here. So a lot of IoT, GIS technologies are part of this for sure. But also, on top of that, there are a lot of tools to build the digital twin, including even, are there any game developers here? Like gaming developers? So we were using Unity, Unreal Engine to build digital twins as well. But now NVIDIA has this amazing tool called Omniverse. So now that's a very high fidelity tool that we are using for that. But also using LLMs to engage with this digital twin as well. So this is one of the examples that how Omniverse works. This video, it's layer by layer. You see it's gonna get detailed. So first you create the framework, then on top of that you put another layer. You put another layer, and so if video goes a little bit faster, you will see the real world, real life, just like this, and Omniverse digital twin. So it's basically a replica of what it is, right? So it looks same. If I would change the worlds, actually the left one was the digital twin. No, so it's real life, and so it's very similar. So now we can actually create a replica of the world. So I'm gonna mention some of the use cases that how we leverage AI for this digital twin. So real-time data analysis and processing, that's for sure, right? So that's very important because you can build digital twin for anything basically. It can be a city, it can be a power plant, factory, hospital, or sometimes we clone people as well.
cases for a test space. So now we are focusing on cities mostly. So in digital twin can be for, just like I said, it can be for real estate projects, construction projects, like factories, power plants, etc., even solar panels. But now we're focusing on cities because once we build digital twin for a city, then every other project should be integrated with that. So now starting with city made more sense for us. So these are the use cases that we're focusing on right now. I will show you some videos, images that how we use it. So I will deep dive on these use cases in that. But this is not a new thing actually. So, and it's a global race right now. So like every city will be digitalized. Some of them are early. So Singapore is an amazing example because they didn't just create a digital twin for a city, they created a digital twin for a whole country. And I will deep dive in that, but they spend a lot of money and they are integrating all this, all the government system into that digital twin as well. So just like in Helsinki as well. So you can also pay taxes, get, like get permit for your building. So those kind of operations, you can also use digital twin as well. So New York City is also using to manage their traffic flow, or Helsinki is mostly using for sustainability. But once you build the digital twin, right, it's a living mechanism. So you can connect with other data sources and use the same twin for other use cases as well. It works like a data integrator. So you can start with one street from Miami, used for traffic, so smart traffic flow, but then you can integrate for like with building data or zoning planning data that now you can use for permitting process as well. So for Singapore, right, they spend $730 million. That's a lot. Maybe it's going to be cheaper right now, like with these foundation models, community. So they were like one of the first countries, so it was very expensive back at that time. So right now the projects are not this expensive. So it's getting cheaper, just like cost for LLMs, right? So every time it's getting cheaper, so it's getting cheaper as well. I can share these slides with you, so you don't have to take photos. If you want, you can, yes. And my mom is visiting Miami, so I need some cool photos as well. Share those photos with me. So this is a city in Turkey, one of the largest service cities in Turkey. So this is a very large scale project, so we integrated with the traffic data of security cameras within the city. There's solar panels, so they can optimize and make smart decisions while they are managing the city, right? So public safety is another use case for digital twins. Also smart traffic flow as well. So let me show you this video and so this is just a video because when we deploy the projects, sometimes you don't have access to those projects except the technical support, because all this data can be private to the city or the entity that we are working on, and signing all those NDAs, etc. So I'm going to show you a video. So it's going to be hard to follow what Evan did here on cool demo showing here live demos. I'm not able to do that, sorry. This video shows, this is the security cameras. That every bus has security cameras and you can track all of them. It also does the image processing, understand how many passengers inside of it, like what is the ID for the driver, like what is the ID for this. Each of them has like specific IDs, like unique IDs, so you can track them as well. So the whole thing is going to take a little bit more time, so I'm skipping this, but I want to show you another use case. So this is a mid-scale project that we did. It's for crane operations. So because another use case is safety training. So once you build it with digital twin, with the VR headset, then I told you like the version stories, but you can also do safety training. Imagine you hired a new employee for this crane operation. It's not safe to just let them, hey, okay, we hired you, just go do this. No, they have to get safety training, but even that might not be the safe solution. So first they do that training with the VR headset, then go do the actual training as well. So this was one of the use cases. And the second one, sometimes we create objects that never exist before. And what I mean by that, this car was not exist. That's when we created. It was just an image, some blueprints, but then with digital twin, we created advertising video for this car. It's an EV car, it looks like real, right? And this is the actual advertisement, they show the car, then they release the car like months after. So the same thing for real estate projects as well, right? Imagine you have a construction project, but you want to sell before you build. So we built in the Stuttgart, and then your potential clients can't even see how their lead is going to be. Like 9th floor, and this is going to be your lead. Like 15, these are the amenities. You can also do the virtual tour within the rooms as well. So marketing and sales another use case for this. So I'm trying to show like different use cases at different scale to like show you like how digital cylinders, but also show our capabilities if you're interested, right? And we have a lot of customers are enterprises or cities. So we work with one of one Starbucks, Boeing, the Emirates, like some of the universities, some of the hospitals, or like even car companies. And we have almost 100 people, doing this. 3 offices, Miami, Montreal, Istanbul. Most of the developers are in Istanbul. Okay, let's look at the code. And just like I said,
metaverse, so more than 100K users are also lives in that metaverse as well. Okay, so what I said in the beginning, right? Now you can build digital worlds and we can personalize those worlds for you with the help of AI, right? You can engage with anything inside of it. So did anyone watch Ready Player One movie before? Have you ever watched that? So that scenario can be real right now. So there's a little bit latency with this multimodal foundation models. It's a little bit latency, so it's not like real time, but we know it's gonna be a real time at some point, right? At some point, it's getting better and better. The latency will decrease, it's gonna be better. And just like I'm speaking right now, and I'm walking, if I walk in that digital world, right? And that world can be personalized maybe for me. Imagine not only personalized conversation, personalized user experience, I'm telling you there is a chance to get personalized digital worlds, which is crazy to me. Like even that idea is crazy. So it might be an utopia, so you can do whatever you want. Maybe that's the heaven. Or it can be dystopia, because people are getting lonely and all the other side effects, etc. So I'm gonna leave with that. I'm gonna leave you with that. But last question, how many of you think it's gonna be utopia? Not everyone? Come on, guys, it's not that bad. We are here to learn, right? 1, 2, how many of you think it's gonna be dystopia? Okay, so you think it's gonna be a real world. It's gonna be as is. Okay, so that makes sense because that's how it is, right? There are good things, the bad things in life, and it doesn't have to be one of them. And that's it. That's me, Burhan Sebin from Atlas Space. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can connect me and, you're welcome to join AI Hub events as well. If you have more questions about digital twins, here to answer. Yeah.
Thank you, Burhan, for the presentation. One question, I'm working a lot with different startups and companies.
Of course.
So digital twins for surgery, for health tech, different kinds of costumes. I even know that there is a Miami World that's already sold out and so on. So I'm very interested, and so the presentation was really great. How you integrate with other competitors? Like, for example, you create something in the world, like copy of Turkey, copy of New York, or something. When you have a competitor who will do the same, so how you interact with each other?
Sure, that's a very good question. Thank you for that. And so the only country that created digital twin for all their country is Singapore, right? And they
can have a lot of different use cases that might not exist right now. So let's say one of the competitors create that digital twin and they're expert on something. Then you can come in with your own data source and capabilities, so you can do the other use cases for them. So let's say, we are very good at safety training for the factories, right? But just like I said, Boston Dynamics is training robots at Omniverse. So those factories are using robots as well. So Boston Dynamics can come and use the same digital twin for their use case. If needed, they can create more scenarios for that as well. So it's like competition, but also this term they use, co-competition as well. So it might be even better if they have a digital twin, because now you don't have to train them, like you don't have to talk 30 minutes, what is digital twin, how you can use it, how we can leverage this as a technology. You just come, pitch your use case, which they might need, and it can be easier. So, but thank you, that's a great question.
Hi everyone, thank you for your presentation. My name is Javier. In terms of application of models for some of this, is each use case take longer time to train? If you have a specific, let's say, threshold that you can only limit you can get to, say for sustainability use case, for example. If they want to, say, model a sustainability of city like Austin, Texas, is there a limit and a time period that takes you to actually do this, or will it be some kind of continuous, it will be depending on really what the client needs?
Yeah, so
it depends on the use case and it depends on the client needs. So just like every other project, right? But there are some thresholds with the AI, integration of AI, not actually building digital twin, because and also it depends on the budget as well, like how high fidelity you want, right? Because if the use case, you don't need to put realistic chairs and tables within that digital twin and or the screens, etc. You just need this framework of this building, let's say. It's a low fidelity project. So maybe just using Unreal Engine is enough, or you don't need to use, NVIDIA GPUs or Omniverse for that. So definitely, completely depends on the project. But usually for the cities, let's say one very busy avenue, it takes 2-3 months to build that.
Thank you.
I mean, I hope it helps.
Yeah, you just mentioned that people can create digital twins of the persons.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Me17?
Which one?
Me17.
The new, it's brand new. I did, sorry.
So pretty much they keep on reprinting it. He goes on really dangerous missions and he dies and then they keep on reprinting it. So the question I have is, in your opinion, because we are doing 3D printing of some body parts, how far away are we from digitally at least, staging the data for when we're ready to actually print people?
Yeah, it's a very futuristic question. But I'm that.
I always think that too. I think we can print people, at least the body part, right? But fully, that's what I believe personally, if it changed anything. But probably we can store all the data, all your memories as well. So now there are some companies, like Supra or Delphi or other AI avatar companies. They store all your data and you can create your own digital twin, and I can chat with that digital twin 24/7 and it can live forever. I think maybe you can put that data to printed body at some point, but these are all speculations, Okay, thank you so much for staying this long. And thank you, Grant, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Now I learned a lot of new things today. Who here learned something new about digital twins that you haven't known before? Wow, look at that. All the hands up in the room. Thank you, Burhan. Again, Best Community Ally Award. Really great person. And highly recommend checking out his events. And so thank you all so much for coming, everybody. I want to thank all of you in this community. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But, I wouldn't be here without all of you, right? So if not for the community, we would be nothing. So thank all of you for making this community so special.
The donation page.
Sounds good. So we'll go ahead and, close out. So thank you all so much for coming, everybody. I just have a few quick announcements. So who here has heard of Miami Tech Week? Miami Tech Week, okay, a few hands, all the hands rather. So we are having our very first Miami AI Summit here during Miami Tech Week. We're going to be having really great folks such as PyTorch Foundation and Lightning AI as our sponsors and partners. We'll be having speakers from Microsoft, Red Hat, from Neural Magic acquisition, as well as folks from Near AI with experience from Coinbase, Bloomberg, and also a former A16Z Andreessen Horowitz partner. So this is one you do not want to miss on April 12th. This will be at the Lab Miami. And this is going to be a really, really great one. So really implore all of you to please swing by. We'll go ahead and be sending out that email blast in the next couple days. And it'll be a really, really exciting venture. So this will be our very first one. We're going to be bringing together some of the leaders in AI, some of the best speakers as well. So really, really appreciate all of you for coming out. And thank you to all of our speakers today, Burhan, Irina, Adam, and Michael for speaking today and teaching us so much about AI and bringing the tech talent here. Yeah. So let's see if I can make this slide deck work. Looks like, potentially, let's see here. Classic. Here, we'll go ahead and just do it like this. Boom. All right, so, as you can see, we have a wonderful, beautiful community, all of you here today, so thank you. If you'd like, follow us on our social media. Go ahead and QR code this. This is how you can go ahead and follow us on every single social, YouTube, X, Discord, you name it. We usually actually mostly do Discord these days. So if you'd like to stay with us, don't tell anyone, but we actually have Matt White, the Executive Director of PyTorch Foundation, in our Discord, if you would like to communicate. So feel free to join our Discord and do that. And last but not least, maybe one last ask, shameless plug is, if you like what we do, feel free to become a member. We have multiple members here at GPTuesdays. This gives you a lot of goodies like premium workshops, a beautiful name badge as well. You see mine is a beautiful name badge. If you want a beautiful name badge as well, feel free to become a member. This is how we get supported for wonderful food. So if you want to eat even better, feel free to become a member and we'll feed you even more. And that's not all. We also have exclusive networking events where we'll be able to talk in fireside chats very, very privately, bringing you with the best of our community so that we can help accelerate your learning and help all of us reach the next level. So thank all of you again for coming, and big shout out as well for Polkadot. Thank you as well, James, as well as our great partner here, and we'll look forward to seeing you at our next event. So have a good day, everybody. Cool. Oh, I guess we could. Yeah. Yes. And actually, we're going to go ahead and take a picture. We will be taking a picture real quick. So, yeah. Amazing. If everyone could just line up over here, we're going to take a picture in the back here. What do you think, like picture right here?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay. If everyone wants to come back here, we're going to take a picture. Yeah. And we'll take a picture this way. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
My brother can take it.
Oh, okay.
My brother's here. He's here.
Oh, hey, nice to see you, man. Hey, nice to see you. Amazing. Zephyr, nice to meet you. That's so cool. Absolutely. Good to meet you as well. I've heard about a lot of you too. Cool. Yeah. America, take it. Oh, you want me to